In this video, we're going to take a look and do a little shooting with what may be one of the most hyped firearms products of 2019. I'm talking about the Shield Arms S15 15-round magazine for the Glock 48 or 43X. That's what's coming up next here on Survival on Purpose. Welcome back to Survival on Purpose, your home for information and gear reviews related to camping, survival, and general preparedness for regular folks. My name's Brian. Thanks for joining me. So did that sound tactical enough? As I often do when I do any kind of video about firearms related stuff, let me just say right up front, I am not any kind of an expert on firearm stuff. I'm not an instructor. I'm not an operator. I have never been in the military. I'm not a SWAT member. I'm just a guy who's been shooting all of his life, multiple decades now, and I really take a big interest in it. And I think it's very important to be able to protect yourself and your family. So we'll leave it at that. But today, as I said, we're going to take a look at this very, very popular Shield Arms S15 15-round magazine for the Glock 48. And I'm going in the house, it's raining. This video is sponsored by my friends at Sportsman's Guide, where I've been a Buyers Club member for several years now. Buyers Club members get free shipping on orders over 49 bucks, including ammo. And by the way, they have one of the best selections of military surplus gear anywhere I've found. So I really appreciate Sportsman's Guide being a channel sponsor, and I really encourage you to go check them out. I think you'll be glad you did. If you're as observant as I think you are, you can probably notice that we are not at the Survival on Purpose Worldwide Headquarters outdoor studio because it started raining. So I brought it on in, so I won't ramble anymore. As I said, if you've been paying any attention to firearms social media over the last few months, you've probably seen a lot of hype and a lot of interest in this new product from the folks at Shield Arms, and it is the S15 15-round magazine for the Glock 48 and 43X. Real briefly, I happen to have a Glock 48 that the folks at Sportsman's Guide were kind enough to send me to do some long-term testing on quite a few months back. And by the way, I have mine in my Hog Holsters Kydex holster, which is made for the 48 with the TLR6 Streamlight light laser combo on it. So pretty cool there. Speaking of Hog Holsters, I got to give a big shout out to John Abbott at Hog Holsters because he was kind enough to send me one of his S15 magazines so I could test it and check it out and show it to you. Because, as I mentioned, there was a lot of hype and drama about this. This thing was introduced and teased several months back, and they took pre-orders for it. And it took a long time for the pre-orders to be delivered because the first batch they got, they just weren't happy with the quality and they weren't willing to send out an inferior product. So anyway, they had to get a second batch in, and it took them a while. So they delivered all those. My friend John was smart enough to get in on that first order. So right now, my name is on a list to be notified when they have some more. So these are not even available right now for purchase, but they will be hopefully soon. If you're interested in this after watching this video, I would highly encourage you to go to their website and you know, get your name on the list to be notified because as you're going to see, let me just cut to the chase. This thing, I shot 250 rounds through this thing at the range yesterday. Okay, 249, and we'll talk about that in a second. It performed absolutely flawlessly. So I promise you just a little more rambling, and we'll get to the range and show you some shooting with this thing. But I want to say this about the Glock 48. I really like this pistol, and they've also, by the way, they've come out with a black slide version now too, so it's all black again. It doesn't have the bling factor here, but something I didn't like about this pistol, and something that is the main thing that's kept this from being my primary carry pistol, is it only holds 10 rounds. Now, if you live in a communist-controlled territory, and if you do, you know who you are, then that 10-round magazine might be exactly all you're allowed to have. I, however, live in free America, therefore I'm able to have a full-capacity magazine, which is why I typically prefer the Glock 19, because it holds 15 rounds and is still a compact form factor. This pistol is the same length and the same grip length, so it's the same side dimensions as a Glock 19. It's just narrower by a substantial amount, really. So, and I did a comparison video a while back on that. You can take a look at that. But so this does make this a lot more concealable. But from my mind, the loss of 5 rounds, which is 30%, 33%, is just more than I wanted to deal with. I wanted, you know, as I said this in another video, one of my favorite lines of any novel is from one of the Spencer novels by Robert B. Parker. There's no such thing as too much money or too many bullets. I subscribe to that. So anyway, however, this magazine, in my opinion, has the potential to turn this Glock 48 from what I consider a good backup pistol to a primary carry pistol, if it works well. And as you're going to see, I think it does. So, but let me just show you real quickly. Here's the pistol, and here is the stock standard magazine in it. And you can see what it looks like, right? Right there's the magazine. Let me show you the difference. Oh yeah, it looks the same, doesn't it? No extension, no +2, nothing to change the overall outline or size of the pistol. That's what's so cool. So how did they do this magical change, you might ask? Well, got a loaded 10-round magazine here. As you can see, it has metal lips. It has actually a metal liner in here, but the magazine itself is polymer. So it has to be a little thicker just to cover, make that polymer coating. So what the folks at Shield Arms did is they eliminated the polymer coating, which allowed them to take that space which was used up by the polymer and fill it up with bullets, which is always a good thing. Has a nice red follower so you can see it through the windows at 5, 10, and 15 rounds. I tell you, when you got it loaded to 15 rounds, you got to kind of look at an angle up in there and you can see the brass. Also, I'll tell you, when you're loading 15 rounds, that last round is, you got to load it, okay? You got to push it down. And after you've loaded about 10 or probably 10, 12, 13 mags at the range, one after the other, it will kind of make your, it'll make your finger hurt a little bit, but it gets the job done, and it absolutely, it works. It just plain works. So, and one more thing I want to show you about this, I think it's cool. On the bottom, it's got these little dots, so you can put a paint marker in there, and you can identify your mags. Has a total of 16 different dots, so you can make all kinds of combinations there. It's always a good idea, in my opinion, to mark your mags, so if you're practicing or training and you know which mag's which, and you know if there's a problem with one, you know which one to get rid of. One other detail I want to show you is the you can see the standard Glock magazine has the catch indentation on both sides, which allows you to reverse your magazine release, whereas the Shield Arms only has the catch on one side, which means that you're not going to be able to reverse your magazine release, I don't think. I'm not a Glock armor, but I think that makes sense to me. Speaking of magazine releases, they do recommend that you change your magazine release to a metal magazine release, which I did. This is the stock one, the polymer one that came out, and I bought one of their Shield Arms metal ones that I think it's aluminum, but I'm not sure, but it's slightly extended also as well. It just works just fine. Probably you'll be able to shoot hundreds and hundreds, maybe even thousands of rounds through it using this plastic one, but I figure for 25 bucks it's worth a shot. And I made a quick video on how to change out that magazine release if you're not familiar with it. I'm going to have to check YouTube terms of service and see if they'll let me post that on here. If not, it'll be on my brand new Full 30 channel. I encourage you to go check that out. I'll put a link in the description of that also. I like to get some traffic to that. I'm going to try to put some more stuff on there that maybe YouTube won't allow. They don't allow any gun build videos, anything that shows you how to assemble anything to do with like a lower or anything. I'm thinking about doing a 300 blackout build. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, I took my Glock 48 and I took my new Shield Arms S15 magazine. I couldn't remember what I called it there for a minute. And I took 250 rounds of 9mm ammo to my local Stoddard's indoor gun range yesterday, and I shot 249 rounds through here because I had one that did not go bang. It got a dimple in the primer, but no bang bangs. And as you'll see, it absolutely performed 100% flawlessly. Zero favors to feed, zero issues, zero anything. You load it up with 15 rounds of ammo, you put it in, you rack the slide, and you go bang 15 times, over and over and over. So let me just switch to that real quick, and we'll show you the range footage, and then we'll wrap this thing up. As you can see here, I am loading 15 rounds the very first time in. And like I said, the last round was kind of tough. I thought for a minute it wasn't going to go in, but I endeavored to persevere, and it worked. Okay, the next step is to load the pistol and start shooting. Let's count them together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But wait, there's more. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And I'm not going to win any marksmanship awards, but they're all pretty much in the green. Another thing I like about the 15 round mag is it makes that whole 2 to the body, 1 to the head drill come out nice and even. And as you can see here, again, I'm not going to win any prizes for marksmanship, but it was all in the green. Okay, let's wrap it up. For the final 15 rounds, thought I'd shoot just as fast as I could and sort of hit the target. So let's see how I did. And I will admit I was using the laser on this one because it does seem to help me get on target a little faster. Well, not too bad. Just that one pesky little flyer. Oh, we're back. So as you can see, it performed very well. Now I realize that's only 250 rounds, but I really didn't want to spend $500 on ammo yesterday just to test this magazine out. I'm confident after 250 rounds, this thing works really well. So confident, but I'll tell you this, I've got my name in the hat to be notified just as soon as they get these things out. I went ahead and changed my magazine release as they recommended, so I'm going to get some more of these because in my opinion, if you like the form factor of a Glock 48 or even a 43X, which has a little bit shorter barrel, so it's potentially even more concealable, the thinness of this, if you got smaller hands, maybe the grip is better for you. I think the Shield Arms S15 15-round magazine for the Glock 48 and 43 is an absolute game changer, and this will be the only magazine that is not a Glock magazine that I put in any of my Glocks. I've never seen any reason to change them, but I gotta say this here, this is convincing me. So I'm gonna keep shooting. I'm gonna keep trying it, but I'm pretty convinced. So anyway, I'll stop rambling. I think that's pretty cool. I'm not allowed to put any links to this, so you just have to Google up Shield Arms for yourself. If you can't do that, you probably don't need to be carrying a pistol. So I'll just say it like that. So anyway, thanks again to John from Hog Holsters for sending me this so I could test it out and show it to you. And by the way, he also sent me this really nice gun cleaning mat. Got to give him a little boost there. That looks pretty cool, doesn't it? So anyway, and Hog Holsters, you know I got to give John a plug. So, but the folks at Shield Arms deserve a plug too, and they're not paying me anything. They're not sponsoring the channel. They did a really good job on this, and I wanted to show you. So I hope this has been helpful. As always, thanks for watching Survival on Purpose. I put out a brand new video every Friday and Saturday, and sometimes random videos throughout the week. If you want to make sure you don't miss a single one, I invite you to go to survivalonpurpose.com/subscribe. Subscribe to my weekly email newsletter. I'll send you an email every week with all the videos from the previous week. And don't forget this. Coming up very, very soon, I'm going to be announcing through the email newsletter a very special kind of a deal for people that are subscribers to the newsletter. And just a quick hint, we're going to be doing a giveaway for subscribers only. So if you want to get in on that, you might want to subscribe. So anyway, once again, thank you so much for all your support. My name's Brian. You're watching Survival on Purpose. Remember, survival's not an accident. So be prepared. I'll see you next time.